Breaking news, everybody. Breaking news for you. Your entire mathematical career, you've just thought sine, cosine, and tangent were the only ones. Sine, cosine, and tangent. Well, there's actually 6. Not 3, there's actually 6 total. Okay? And I'm going to introduce you today to the other 3. But fortunately, good for us, they relate to sine, cosine, and tangent. Okay? Let me introduce you to the first new one. It's called secant. S-E-C-A-N-T. Just like those back there, sine, cosine, and tangent, we abbreviate it. We don't write out the word secant, we abbreviate it SEC. Okay? As you can see, what is secant related to? It's related to cosine. It's the reciprocal. I take cosine and flip it. So, ready? Hey, if cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, what do you think secant's going to be? You picked it up already. It's going to be hypotenuse over adjacent. Okay? So that I just want to add that in, h over a. And let's even get more detailed. What coordinate on the unit circle is cosine? What coordinate on the unit circle is cosine? It's the x coordinate, right? So secant is going to be 1 over the x coordinate on the unit circle. See how that works? That's cosine. Secant is the reciprocal of cosine. The second one, and I know I'm going to hear some groans here, cosecant, which is abbreviated CSC. That is what I get when I flip sine. Okay, that's the reciprocal of sine. So if sine is opposite over hypotenuse, what's cosecant? Hypotenuse over opposite. And on the unit circle, I would find it by doing 1 over what coordinate? The y coordinate for sine. So I got secant and cosine go together. I got cosecant and sine. This one's a nice one. What goes with tangent? Cotangent. Okay? Tangent, cotangent, it's abbreviated COT. Right? Remember yesterday, tangent was sine over cosine? Well, now it's flipping it and cosine over sine. Anybody want to know as far as SOHCAHTOA goes? Think about it. As far as SOHCAHTOA goes, what should cotangent be equal to? Because tangent was opposite over adjacent. So now it's going to be adjacent over opposite. And on the unit circle, I'm not going to say a word. Remember what it was yesterday for tangent. For cotangent, flip it, and it's going to be x coordinate over y coordinate. Okay. Now I get that this is a lot to consume right now in the last 5 minutes. I'm going to give you a little device to help you. All right? We all know SOHCAHTOA. Right? We all know SOHCAHTOA. First time, second time, third time using this, a lot of kids always mix these up. Which one goes with cosine? Which one goes with sine? No one really ever asks which one goes with tangent because the name of this one is cotangent. Okay, but everyone always mixes up which one goes with cosine, which one goes with sine. Here is your answer right now. I always write out SOHCAHTOA, and then underneath I write out the reciprocals. Cosecant goes with sine. Secant goes with cosine. And we all know cotangent goes with tangent. So how's that going to help me out, Carlino? What are you talking about? Here's how it's going to help you out. Are you ready? SEC, I know that's an abbreviation for secant, but it's also an abbreviation for what other English word? Second. So it goes with the second one in SOHCAHTOA. Yes, no? Not bad? Okay, so that's how you will hopefully never get these two right here mixed up. Okay, SEC is an abbreviation for the word second, so it goes with the second one in SOHCAHTOA, so I know it's the reciprocal of cosine. Okay? Everyone all right before we start using them now? Okay, I'm actually going to go in different order today. Can you go to exercise 4 for me first? All right, I want to go to that one instead of starting with 1 here. and talk about the signs. Is it positive or negative depending on what quadrant? Can you guys, hopefully right now, go ahead and fill out cosine and sine chart for me? If you need ASTC written out, go ahead. And fill out your plus minuses for each quadrant right now. In quadrant 1, what do you know about sine? What do you know about cosine? Quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. Hopefully we'll be able to fill these out pretty quickly. And if you want to get a little crazy, you want to go to part B and fill out the tangent one, go right ahead. I know we're getting a little nuts here, but go ahead. You can fill out the tangent one in part B. Cosine. Are we okay where we're getting all that from? AS, all students take classes where everything is positive. Okay, what about the, yep, Matt, go. Okay. A stands for all. Everything is positive in the first quadrant. Second quadrant, there's an S here. That stands for? What's the only thing we've gone over that starts with an S? Sine, right? So only sine is positive here. The rest, tangent, cosine, negative. What's the T stand for in the third quadrant? Tangent, meaning only tangent is positive in the third. What about cosine and sine? It's negative. Let's go to the fourth quadrant. You got to see there. Cosine is positive. Everything else is negative in the fourth. Is everyone else solid here? Before we talk about where these new ones are positive and negative. Okay, well, first of all, what do you know the A stands for? All. Everything is positive in the first, meaning everything, including the new 3 we just talked about, right? Everything is always positive in the first quadrant. So let's get a little bit more detailed now. What did the S mean again? Sine is positive in the second. So is its reciprocal. If sine is positive in the second, so is its reciprocal. What did we call the reciprocal of sine? Go back and look if you need to. Cosecant. So that means cosecant is positive in the second, everything else still negative. What's positive in the third according to the T here? Tangent, and now so it's its reciprocal, which would be cotangent. So in the third quadrant, cotangent is positive, everything else still negative. And then finally, cosine and its reciprocal now, which is secant, is positive in the fourth. So not only are these positive, but so are its reciprocals. Everything else still negative. Everything else still negative. Okay? Questions? Okay, let's try a couple out here with 5 and 6, and we'll go back to the beginning. Okay, just determine the sign. I don't want to know what it's equal to. Just determine the sign. Cotangent of 340. Jess, start us off. Where's 340 degrees? Fourth quadrant. And what's positive in the fourth quadrant? Cosine. And now we know it's reciprocal, which is? So cosine and secant are positive here. So that means cotangent is? Negative. We okay? Emma, you ready?
Yeah.
123, what quadrant? 2. What's positive in the second? The S stands for? Sine and its reciprocal, which we just found out was called? That's second, right? So it goes with cosine. So sine and? Look back if you need to. I don't care. Sine and what's the reciprocal of sine? Cosecant. Are positive here, but I'm looking for secant. So what should I know about secant in the second? It's negative as well. Because the only two things that were positive you told me were sine and cosecant. Mark, here we go. 184. Where's 184? Third quadrant, right? Everyone else agrees? Third quadrant. What's the T mean? Tangent's positive, and what did we just call its reciprocal? So only tangent and cotangent are positive here. So what do you know about cosecant? It'd be negative. Oh, 3 negatives, huh? Didn't think you were going to get that, huh? And then finally here, exercise 6, where we got the less than or equal to. Remember, less than just a fancy way of saying it's negative. Greater than a fancy way of saying it's. Okay, so in what one quadrant is cotangent going to be negative and secant going to be positive? Okay, think about it this way. Think about it this way. If you don't like these, because I know you're brand new to them, write the reciprocals on top instead. So what's the reciprocal of cotangent? So if you don't want to deal with cotangent, think about tangent being negative. If you don't want to think about secant being positive, what's the reciprocal of secant again? Cosine. You can think of it that way, if that helps you out more. So where's tangent negative and cosine positive? There's only one quadrant that both happens in. Gianna? Quadrant 4. Okay, quadrant 4. Now I got to pick the angle that's in quadrant 4, though. 310. Everyone all right? Going. Signs in each quadrant? No big deal. Okay, let's go back to exercise 1 now. We'll get back to 7 at the end. Going back to the unit circle now. Here we go. Going back. Let's put it all together now. Secant of 60 in simplest radical form. Secant of 60. Well, first of all, Hannah, go to 60 on the unit circle. What's the point? What's the point on the unit circle at 60? Thank you.
This is just like a general question.
Sure.
For the test, are we going to need to know like that 60 degrees is 1/2?
I hope you know it. It's kind of the basis of this whole unit.
Well, like.
Or am I going to give it to you? Absolutely not. Good try. Okay. You and your boy there better study up. All right. The goof troop better make a meeting. All right. You can have it in my room. Snacks provided. All right. But I'm not doing big subs or anything to feed your face. All right. Okay. Everybody ready? Oh, and you're a secant is the reciprocal of which one of the original 3? Cosine. All right. Guys, I'm cosine. I'm on the unit circle. Caroline, which coordinate do I use for cosine usually? The x coordinate. Everyone agrees? So all I have to do is take the x coordinate and flip it. Yeah, you got it right there. Look at these. These 2 goofs right up here got it. We got it. I'm good to go. This is great. All right. So I take the x coordinate and I flip it. Because secant, remember, was 1 over x, right? I flip the x. So take 1/2, flip it. Secant of 60 is going to be 2. Yep. All right, cotangent of 150. Let's go, Sarah. Where's 150? What quadrant? Okay, so what's the only 2? Ready? What's the one thing you know that's positive in the second? Sine and its new reciprocal, which is cosecant. Meaning, what should I know about cotangent then?
Oh, negative.
It should be negative. Everyone agrees? So this is going to be negative. And I'm going to do these problems the same way I did with sine and cosine and tangent. Negative cotangent of reference angle. 30? Everyone's all right if I don't show that? 30? Okay, so go to 30 degrees on your unit circle. Hey, we just went to 60. There's a hint. We just went to 60 before. What's it at 30? Radical 3 over 2, comma, 1/2. All right, let's go. Let's go. So this will be equal to, well, first, tangent was what yesterday? Y over x. So now I'm going to do x over y. Keep that net, bringing down that negative. So it's going to be, what's in my numerator now? It was y over, tangent is y over x. So you guys told me x over y now. Radical 3 over 2 divided by 1/2. We did this a ton yesterday and on the assignment last night. Fix it. Fix it. Yep. Keep the top. Flip the second. And we end up with, cross out your 2's. Negative radical 3, remember. Negative radical 3. Keep bringing down that negative sign because we're in the second quadrant. Anything else here? Okay. Caitlin, what's this in here? Radians? This is radians, right? Okay, you were getting. So pi over 4, you remember what pi over 4 was? 45. 45 times 3, everybody? 135. Okay, so this is just cosecant of 135. All right, let's go. Allie, where's 135? What quadrant? Second quadrant. What do you know is positive in the second quadrant? Sine and its reciprocal, which is called what? So my answer should be positive. All right, so this is the same as cosecant. If you want to put a little plus sign out to make it nice and neat, fine, I don't care. Reference angle. 45, yep. 180 minus 135. Where does the unit circle hit 45 degrees? That's the easy one. Radical 2 over 2, radical 2 over 2. And now, Allie just told us, but cosecant is the reciprocal of sine, which is usually what coordinate? I know it doesn't matter here, but the y coordinate. So I'm going to take the y coordinate and flip it. So the cosecant of 135, take the y coordinate and flip it, but decency, self-respect, whatever you call it. Multiply top and bottom by radical 2. 2 radical 2 over 2. Leave it or do anything? I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. Good. Yep. And you're just left with? Yep. I know we've only been together for about 6 weeks now, but I'm pretty sure I know most of you well, and most of you would want to check your answer at the end to make sure that when you plug that into your calculator, that sloppy decimal matches that sloppy decimal. But here's the problem. If you look at your calculator right now, you will never see a secant, cotangent, or cosecant button. But it still can be done. All right? And that's what we're going to work on in this next example here, is how to use your calculator to find these new functions. Okay? So cosecant is 63. You look through your entire calculator, you're never going to find a cosecant button. Okay? I'm sorry, it's just never going to happen. You're never going to see CSC. But you know what CSC is related to. Cosecant is the reciprocal of which one again? Sine. So I can rewrite this as, ready? 1 over, not cosecant of 63, but sine of 63. Because those are reciprocals. Now you can do that in your calculator. And we're rounding it to, ooh, wow, look at me on there, huh? 1,000th. You finally get to use your calculator, and this guy's going to make you round to the nearest 1,000th. You're welcome. You are welcome. We got 1 point. I'll just stop right there because I want to hear all these different answers. 1,000th. So you should give me 3 numbers after the decimal, looking at the 4th if you should round or not. All right, here we go, stud.
I got 1.122.
That it, or do I add more numbers? All right, yep, good job.
Yeah, I said 3.
Yeah, you did, but I'm going to pretend I didn't hear it. You don't have a cotangent button, but you can rewrite this as 1 over tangent 245. What do we got? What are those three decimal numbers after? 4, 6, 6. And then how about secant of 35? No secant button, but rewrite it as 1 over, what's the reciprocal of secant? Cosine 35. Yep. .221. Yep. Okay. Just like tangent yesterday, some of these reciprocals are going to be undefined at certain degree measures because you're going to have 0 in the denominator. And what I want to know is out of these 4 for cosecant, which one's going to be undefined? And I'm not going to go through and make you go to the unit circle. I'm not about that life. All right. You guys have calculators that I showed you just how to use with the reciprocals now. So what you can do right now is go through each of them, find the cosecant of 180. What are you going to type in your calculator? Obviously not cosecant. You're going to do 1 over sine of each angle. Yes. So go ahead right now. It should come up pretty quickly. And find out which one will be undefined. Ends up being 90 degrees. 180 degrees. Yeah, choice 1. All good? Because I'm going to kind of let you go on your own on this last one. So go all the way to exercise 7 there. You guys have been finding me sine, cosine, tangent beautifully over the last week or two. Now I want you to find all 6 on your own. Okay, all 6 on your own. And find all 6. Hey, if you're wondering, this vocabulary there, 6 trigonomic functions. That's sine, cosine, tangent, and the 3 we just went over. Okay, go ahead, Jess.
What angles do the 3 new ones represent?
What do you mean, what angles? Well, this problem in particular says go from angle A. I don't know I don't think I'm understanding your question. Okay, so I'll do 1 with you. Anybody pick one of the 6. I don't care. We'll find it. Sine? Okay, we'll start basic. It's not a big deal. What's sine? We're at a right triangle. What's sine equal to? Opposite over. Oh boy. Somebody better learn how to spell SOHCAHTOA. Opposite over hypotenuse, yes. And we're going from angle A, so it's going to be opposite radical 7 over hypotenuse. Darn it. What do I need to do? Pythagorean theorem, yep, our boy. Radical 7 squared plus 3 squared equals hypotenuse squared, yep. $49 and 9. Ooh, 58. Yikes. That is not. No? Oh, never mind. Woo. I know, even the great ones make mistakes right there. Even the great ones. Totally rattled right now. 7 plus 9. There we go. And I could just stop the video now and do it over 6th period, but I'm going to own up to it. I'm good. Keep my mistakes out there in internet land. So over 4. But now I'm going to give you a little hint. What can you find now? What can you find right away that we talked about today? One of the new ones. Cosecant. Perfect. Why? Because all I'm going to do here is I don't even care about the triangle. What am I going to do with sine? Flip it. It's the reciprocal. 4 over radical 7. Then you just got to dig deep and find that self-respect because you're not leaving radical 7 in there, are you? 4 radical 7 over 7. You guys got 4 more to find, then you're starting the assignment. Okay? Once I see everybody start getting all 4, I'll put all the answers up. So you guys got cosine, tangent, and the reciprocals left.
For this one, for cosine. So I'm trying to find cosine of A, right? And then it's that.